On Osrc News at 7, Ondo government approves 2.5 billion naira for payment of gratuity arrears. Osrc reconnects to national grid for better uninterrupted transmission. National Assembly passes 2025 appropriation bill. And from the foreign scene, US President to negotiate end the Ukraine war with Russian President.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. This is Osrc News at 7. I am Sahid Aribisala. We begin tonight with the effort of Ondo State Government to succor the plight of retirees. The Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has approved 2.5 billion naira for the bulk payment of gratuity arrears for local government retirees and primary school teachers. This fourth tranche, covering those who retired in 2013, will be disbursed at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office tomorrow, Friday, 13th February 2025. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Oladele Adesomi, explained that the 2.5 billion naira has been set aside to settle a significant portion of these outstanding payments for both living and deceased retirees. He reiterated the government's commitment to implementing more meaningful and impactful programs aimed at improving the lives of the people. The management and staff of Ondo State Radio-Visual Corporation, OSRC, have appreciated the Director General of the Media Group, Mr. Kenneth Odushola Stevenson, for realizing the reconnection of the state media outfit to the national grid. The staff who gave a rousing welcome upon the Director General's arrival at the office said his commitment to revitalize the corporation gladdens their heart. The report.
After running for over 2 decades, it's now time for a cease in fuels and the sounds of these generating sets which have powered the Ondo State Radio-Vision Corporation for years. These developments follow the reconnection of the source of power for the state-owned broadcast outfits to the national grid, bringing to an end the over-reliance on diesel-powered generator for electricity. The situation is welcomed with joy by members of staff and management as they emerged from their offices to welcome the corporation's Director General, Kenneth Odushola Stevenson, with a say as kept to his promise. The media group was detached from the national grid in 2004, and the long wait for a reconnection is now finally over. Director of Engineering Services Femi Layekomilobo recounts the years of reliance on generators for the station's operation.
It is easy for us to be here now because the noise of the generator is not there. The generators are not making noise. Someone from Rutabele called me this morning and he said, "Are we not on air?" And I told him we're on air. He said, because it's a generator that used to wake him up every day. And I just told the person that, look, you better go and buy an alarm now. That henceforth, if you don't have an alarm, you'll be late for work. So we want to thank you very much. Starting from around 11 p.m. yesterday night, we started running all our systems, the 3 transmitters, and I mean television, Radio Orange, and Radio Alalaye on national grid. And up to now that we are still here, we are still on that particular grid.
For effectiveness, the reconnection to the national grid is placed on a dedicated line which guarantees constant power supply. The Director General, Odushola Stevenson, who was caught unaware by the welcoming party, said the milestone is a significant step towards improved service delivery to the public.
Once we have power and with alternative generator, at least we can plan ahead in terms of our content, in terms of our reach, and for more money to come. And if you remember my speech, I said people, products, and profit. You can't make profit where you have challenges and you send all your money, buying diesel. And I figured that this was the first assignment. And I told Mr. Governor, whether you release money or not, I'm going to do it. Just give me approval. And
Mr. Odushola Stevenson thanked Governor Aiyedatiwa for prioritizing the re-engineering of the state media outfits for efficiency.
I'm emotional, because in my own little corner of business, I know what it means to spend money on this. I know what it means to ration circumstances. So when we were able to, now that we're able to achieve it, he said, look, go and put me on DSTV. I said, well, we are working on it, and we are believing that before the end of this quarter, we should be able to achieve it. Already, we have 2 clients. They are already working on giving us transmitter. Because what we have here is 20-something years old.
Yes.
Working at less than 20% capacity. So we're already working on this whole thing. We just need turnaround, but we need the support of Mr. Governor. Because we can't do it. It's a state-owned project.
Yes.
So even if we have all the money in the world, if we don't get the approval, we can't do it.
Still staying in the media industry, as the world becomes more interconnected, broadcasting through radio transcends geographical and linguistic boundaries, a feat that remains unparalleled. The celebration of World Radio Day 2025 spotlights the crucial role in shaping the future of communication and addressing salient societal issues. The theme for this year's commemoration is radio and climate change. The report.
To inform you that this week is the World Radio Day. Yes, celebrating it on the 13th of February. World Radio Day 2025.
Once a tool for simple communication, radio has come a long way since its early days in the 20th century to become a powerful force in global media. From the first radio broadcast to today's digital waves, radio has evolved dramatically from what began as a single broadcast station into thousands of platforms reaching every corner of the globe. As the world commemorates World Radio Day on the 13th of February, practitioners in the radio broadcast landscape reminisce its place in informing, educating and entertaining, as well as serving as a bridge between communities.
My experience with the radio, I've been on the radio for almost 29 years. So basically radio is meant to inform, to educate and to entertain the listener. But why radio is very, very important and essential is that one can listen to radio anywhere you are. A palm wine tapper can listen to the radio. A farmer in the bush can listen to the radio. If you are working, maybe you are doing house chores, you can also listen to the radio. Driving a car, you can listen to the radio. So there's no place you are, because radio deals with the audio aspect, that is, you listen to radio. So anywhere you are, once you have even a small transistor radio, you are good to go.
This year's World Radio Day theme is radio and climate change, signaling the need to accelerate conversations around this pressing global issue. While there is a growing number of radio stations, fostering more diverse, inclusive dialogues remains a challenge as the World Radio spotlights utilizing the medium to tackle one of today's biggest challenges, climate change, by sparking action and influence among the people.
The evolution of private radio stations has been a force in this regard. I think before the advent of the radio station based in Ilara, that was before 2008, there was no private radio station in Ondo State. I think the one located in Ilara was the first, and it changed the dynamics of radio broadcasting in Ondo State. Now,
the largest reach to the people, especially the grassroots people. So it's also important that it's a vehicle, it's a tool to transmit any information to the grassroots. So as the world also marks World Radio Day as regards the climate change, it's also an opportunity for us to continue to propagate or to continue to tell people about the climate change, especially the effect of climate change. We also know through the fact that climate change has also affected so many things around the world. So we are using radio as a tool to communicate, to actually tell the people about climate change, about the effect and what could be done.
Professor Ayodeji Oluleye, a climate change expert, emphasizes that the shifts in temperatures and weather patterns is a result from the activities of man. He noted that to mitigate the impact, the radio possesses the power to conscientize the people.
But the fact that if we can propagate the news, the information about reducing the activities that lead to the release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, then we can mitigate the effect. We can mitigate the effect of this global warming, because these greenhouse gases will cause global warming, like I explained the other time. If we stop the factors, if we stop the sources of these greenhouse gases, then of course it means that we can as well stop the rates of warming of the atmosphere.
On this World Radio Day, while the history and impact are again celebrated, there is a look into the future with hopes that radio as a platform remains a tool for unity and development. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
And now to Nigeria's budgetary plan for year 2025. The House of Representatives has approved the 54.99 trillion naira budget for the 2025 fiscal, 49.7 trillion naira to 54.2 trillion naira, and sought approval from the National Assembly. Presenting the bill, the House Committee on Appropriations Chairman Abubakar Bichi said discussions were held with the Presidential Economic Planning Team to review revenue projections and expenditures. He noted that the budget was submitted later than the previous years and advised the executive to present future budgets at least 3 months before the new financial year to maintain the January to December cycle. Still staying in the National Assembly, meanwhile the Senate has approved the 2025 appropriation bill, passing a total budget estimate of 54.99 More stories now. Mixed feelings are beginning to greet the central machine ATM services across the country. While some commend the decision, others are concerned about the proper implementation of this policy, hedging that the changes should translate to improved banking services. Osrc's Joy Pius report that the fee adjustments set to take effect from 1st of March 2025 aims to address the rising operational costs and enhance efficiency within the banking sector. The report.
The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) disclosed that charges will now apply anytime customers use the automated teller machines (ATMs) of banks other than theirs. Additionally, the previous benefits of 3 free monthly withdrawals for remote transactions will no longer apply. Under the new structure, customers making withdrawals from their bank ATMs will enjoy free withdrawals. However, a 100 naira fee will be charged for every 20,000 naira withdrawal at on-site ATMs, which are located within the bank's branches. For withdrawals at ATMs of other banks, customers will be charged a 100 naira fee plus a surcharge of up to 450 naira per 20,000 naira withdrawal. 19. When the CBN reduced the withdrawal fee from 65 naira to 30, ideally lead to improved banking services.
I'm not saying it as they quickly adapt to things. If it's something that is going to benefit Nigerians, that is why they are doing that. The effect should not be much on people.
And we are going to the federal government and the CBN to help us do an amendment into that policy.
Once leadership, trust is established in leadership, we will no longer have issues as regards any increase, because we know such increase will always be to our benefit. But in a situation that we don't have trust in leadership, definitely we will always continue to have, there will always disaffection will always arise as a result of any revenue, especially at this junction. So the CBN should ensure that they send out their inspectors to make sure that funds that have readily been put in the commercial bank, they are for the convenience of the customers rather than hoarding. And at the end of the day, we now being at the mercy of the POS users.
Economic experts believe that the regulations will improve the fee adjustment is set to take effect from 1st of March 2025 and has charged financial institutions to comply with the new directives ahead of the implementation. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Residents of Akure, the Ondo State capital, have raised alarm over the influx of destitutes and beggars into the city. They said the state capital is fast becoming a dumping ground for beggars and expressed fear over its attendant effects.
Ondo State capital and its yield results. However, there has now been a resurgence of street begging on the city, with beggars of all ages returning to their usual spots. They now have field days in the strategic locations such as Old Garage, Metadol area, First Bank area, among others. Residents claimed that the beggars were brought into Akure by unknowns is now giving residents sleepless nights as they fear its consequences. They said the beggars have now constituted themselves a security threat and cause traffic gridlock, especially at the Old Garage area.
They will bring trailers of people to come and deposit in Ondo State there. When they deposit them, they will just come down, go there. They have taken the place from the Yoruba people. All of them like that. Outside people are taking it over from Akure people, and we are not doing anything against it because the security is porous. Our security is very, very porous.
Every day, anybody wife wants to go. This place is a contested area. As per the motors, so when motors are coming, they know maybe the person is in Ghana or the restaurant or the professional, so it's super risky for their life and it makes the whole time to be jet.
They called for sustainable solutions to the influx of destitute and arms beggars.
There's not anybody that has power over them except government. And government, they are seeing them every day yet. They are increasing every day by day. So it is only the government that can take care of them.
I will advise the government to sit down. We have brains in Nigeria. We have brains. Look all over the world. Black people are leading, especially Nigerians. But if we are working for a country and some people sitting down in a place getting about 29 million naira home every month, we will like to a professor. How much do a professor earn? So we should try as much as possible to support the practical education.
Observers say the influence of the destitute and beggars negates the urban renewal strategies of the state government and called for immediate actions. Abidemi Akinrotoye, Osrc News.
The federal government has pledged to address the challenges facing the country's textile industry, assuring manufacturers of policies that will create a level playing field for local producers. The Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Eno, during a visit to a textile manufacturing company in Lagos, acknowledged the textile industry's decline, while reminiscing how it once rivaled the government in employment generation and assured stakeholders of renewed government support. He condemned the influx of second-hand clothing and unchecked textile imports, which he described as major factors crippling the industry, noting that 300 containers come into this country daily and unaccounted for. Outside Nigeria now, US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin has agreed to launch immediate negotiations aimed at ending the war in Ukraine following a lengthy phone call. Trump, in a statement, described the call as lengthy and productive, saying both leaders had invited each other for state visits. However, the Ukrainian government was notably absent from the initial talks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky later confirmed he had spoken with Trump, calling it a good and detailed discussion about Ukraine's future security and stability. He reiterated that no one wants peace more than Ukraine and vowed to continue diplomatic efforts to stop Russian aggression. The war, which began